Morning, rainy morning to everyone. Kumusta ang quiz? Na-access ba ng lahat? Okay, so I'm seeing sa comments na may mga hindi nakapag-access. Well, na-access naman po ng iba, so I think the problem is on your end. Pero ganito na lang, meron naman kayong 3 special quizzes, okay? Ma'am Aliza Vidalion, kung hindi mo na-access yung quiz mo ngayon, mag-file ka na lang next time for a special quiz. Special quizzes will be given towards the end of hindi naman ng semester, I think bandang midterms ko na siya ibibigay. Okay, so all throughout the semester, okay, siguro ko 2 yung special quiz natin in isang bagsakan. So halimbawa naka-miss ka ng quiz sa prelim, okay, ta's, halimbawa isang quiz sa prelim, 2 quiz sa midterms. Okay, so lahat ng tatlong yun, ite-take mo siya on your special exam day. Okay? So kung hindi mo siya ma-access ngayon, kindly see to it that next time na maayos na yung canvas mo. Kasi accessible naman sa iba. So I think the problem is on your end. Okay? Miss Aliza Vidalion, are you there?
Yes po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Sige. Okay, so the reason why hindi muna ako nagpa-open cam ngayon kasi baka hindi maayos yung signal. Kasi 'pag nag-o-open cam tayo mas kumakain ng mas malaking internet, 'di ba? So sige, 'wag na lang muna kasi masama ang panahon. Okay, so we are now in week 3. Pasensya na pala last week hindi ko kayo na-meet because I was summoned to a hospital visit. Very urgent yung matter kaya kahit na sinabi ko na may klase ako today, nag-insist po sila that I have to be there. So wala akong magagawa kaya ako nag-asynchronous last week. So pasensya na, that was supposed to be our first meeting, pero ngayon ko pa lang kayo mami-meet, virtually. Okay, na synchronous. Sige, so let's start na ha. I think, ilang slides lang naman 'to, pero medyo wordy kasi ang lesson natin today, so baka it might take longer than ano, yung than usual. Okay, so mas wordy siya. So I think you have to pay attention. Okay, so you have your handouts, in-upload ko na siya sa classroom ninyo. Okay, so let's start. Dami kong dada. Hindi, sorry, joke lang. Okay. So organizing and staffing. So here in organizing and staffing, we have 3 terminologies that we have to consider. So meron tayong organizing, organization, and organizational system. Pag sinabi nating organizing, sorry. Pag sinabi nating organizing, it is a management function that provides the relationship between people and the activities that they will undertake as to fulfill their organizational objectives. Okay, so it is a function that provides the relationship between people and the activities that they will undertake as to fulfill their organizational objectives. So dito, this talks about the people and the relationship within that organization, okay, para ma-achieve nila yung isang common goal nila. So, in here, nagde-delegate ng work, okay? So, division of work based on skills and expertise. Dito nagko-coordinate din sila. Different parts of the organization will coordinate to work together. There is a hierarchy. Okay, so later madadaanan natin yung hierarchy na yan. That talks about the levels of authority that defines kung kanino ka magre-report. Halimbawa, kung sino yung immediate superior mo, doon ka magre-report. Eh, hindi ka naman pwede na dito ka sa pinakababa, ikaw yung clerk, pero doon ka agad nag-report sa medical director. So, hindi yun pwede. Okay, so may hierarchy tayong sinusunod. We also have here, still under organizing tayo ha, resource allocation. Okay, so this is how you distribute resources. Ano yung resources na to? Time, money, manpower, and even equipment. Okay, so yung organizing, that is the process that defines the organization, yung process mismo. Okay? Here. Ito yung process mismo that will define the organization. The organization naman, this is the entity that results from people joining together in pursuit of a common cause. So ano to? So yung common purpose nila, okay, so ibig sabihin, all members work toward shared goals. So isa yung layunin, kumbaga. lahat ng tao within inside the organization nagtatrabaho kasi isa yung goal nila. For example, sa laboratory, from the staff, from your janitor to your lab aide, to your lab tech, to your med tech hanggang pathologist, lahat sila iisa ang layunin para makapag-serve ng maayos na healthcare system for our patients. Okay? So that is the common purpose. Okay? So when we say organization, that is the entity that is formed when resources are all together. Okay? Anong sinabi mo resources kanina? Time, money, equipment, etc. Okay? For organizational system naman, okay, so these are the people, the processes, and the resources. Okay, so lahat na, pangkalahatan. Kung yung organizing, that is the process, organization is the entity, and the organizational system naman, that is all the parts of the organization that work together and function towards one goal. So yan na po yung pangkalahatan natin, yung organizational system. Okay? So organizing, it is the process. Okay? Organization, it is, the entity that is formed when resources are all together, and organizational system, yan po yung kung paano na magtrabaho ang lahat within the organization. Tao, machines, other resources, ganyan. Okay? So functions of an organizational system, we have three: input, transformation, and output. Okay, so madali lang ito intindihin. Yung input, okay, so this is the resources itself. Okay, people, test requests, specimen, information supplies, financial resources. People, yan yung ating laboratory personnel. Okay, test request, this will guide you sa workload mo for the day. So hindi ka naman pwedeng magtrabaho pag walang test request. Halimbawa, kung walang binibigay sa'yo yung physician mo kung anong gagawin mo for the day, wala kang trabaho, wala kang process na susundin. Okay? So test request, that will define your workload for the day. Specimen naman, okay, so syempre, ano yung ito-test natin without specimen? Okay, so it is the blood, it is the urine, it is your tae, whatever. Okay, kung ano mang body fluids natin, okay, yan yung specimen. Information supplies. Okay, so kailangan po yung information supplies natin like SOPs, ano pa, calibration reports, kailangan yan. Okay? So that is considered as as an input. Financial resources, of course, kailangan rin ng funding for lab operations like yung overhead, kung anong ipapasweldo mo sa mga tao mo, ano yung pambili mo ng supplies, ng test reagents. Okay, so lahat ng 'to, they are all under input mechanism. Kung ano ang ilalagay mo, okay, yung resources mo mismo. Okay? For transformation naman, okay, so this is the process whereby resources received through the input channels. So yung mga nilagay natin, okay, yung resources na nilagay natin, it will be transformed. Okay, so it will undergo a series of tests. Okay, so test performance, the test itself. Okay, halimbawa CBC, kung paano ginagawa ang CBC. Urinalysis, kung paano siya ginagawa. Okay, yung personnel, okay, so dito na ina-apply ng ating people ang kanilang knowledge, okay, to run tests. Hindi naman po pwede na kung sino-sino lang yung gagawa kasi in healthcare, kailangan naman ng specialized knowledge para makapag-run tayo ng tests. Okay? After nyan, instrument, okay, kung anong ginagamit natin para makapag-test. For example, ang centrifuge, yung spectrophotometer natin, and so on and so forth. And kay wag malilito, sa personnel meron din tayong expertise. So hindi lang po basta-basta yung magtatrabaho yung kailangan natin, kailangan na rin natin ng expertise. Yung expertise po, yan po yung specialized knowledge ng ating lab personnel, kailangan equipped sila. Okay? So hindi pwede na yung regular lang natin na lab aide or lab tech yung gagawa ng test kasi they may lack the knowledge kung paano mag-interpret ng results. Halimbawa, mag-run ka ng CBC, lahat mataas, hindi po pwede yun. Kailangan mo i-troubleshoot. Okay, so you need to know kung paano mag-troubleshoot if ever may problem. You need to know kung paano mag-interpret ng results, whether it's okay, whether your results are okay or not, kung kailangan bang ulitin. Okay, so yan po ibig sabihin ng expertise. Okay, so yan po all are under transformation. Next po for output mechanism, this is the process of delivering goods or services produced to the external environment. So ito na yung result natin. So what is under or what's under output mechanism? Yan na po yung ating result. So test result, okay, so the outcome of the test, consultation, kung ano yung advice ng experts. Halimbawa, nagpa-FBS ka, nagpa-fasting blood sugar ka. Halimbawa, mataas. Ano yung iko-consult sa'yo ng inyong physician? Okay, so yan, under yan ng output mechanism. Salaries, kung anong iko-compensate mo sa staff. What else? Information. Okay, so halimbawa, magse-census tayo. Ngayon, rainy season. So, anong mataas during rainy season? Siyempre, dengue cases. So, that information will be processed for census, data collection. For example, statistics. Also, doctors, para prepared sila kung anong klaseng patient yung i-anticipate nila. Stakeholders din. Okay? Stakeholders, in a sense na kailangan nilang malaman yon. Kasi halimbawa, rainy season, ano yung bibilihin mong supplies? Siyempre, ipa-prioritize mo yung kung ano yung mabenta that time. For example, dengue season, mabenta ang CBC, mabenta ang dengue tests. Okay, so that is important as well para makapag-procure tayo ng supplies. So that is also under output mechanism. Waste, okay, so of course, there's always waste everywhere. Okay? So yan ang function ng organizational system. Meron tayong tatlo. Input mechanism, yung ating resources. Transformation, the process wherein you turn those resources into your results, na yung ating output mechanism. Okay? Sige. Okay, so we have here, we have here characteristics of an organization. So, ang sabi dito, nag-base lang ako sa sa Canvas na reference. Okay, so ang sabi dito, characteristics of an organization, it should be holistic and synergistic with clearly defined boundaries. So, ano ibig sabihin nan? Holistic, ibig sabihin one affects the other. Okay, kung ano yung gawin ng isa, it should affect the other. Okay, synergistic, you should work collaboratively and should have clearly defined boundaries. So what sets them apart from other organizations? For example, yung laboratory A versus laboratory B. Anong meron sa laboratory A na nakilala siya for being laboratory A? For example, laboratory A is known for delivering fast results. So 30 minutes pa lang may results na sila. Kaya sila pinupuntahan ng tao. Meron ding laboratory B, for example, yung mga results sa yung mga personnel sa laboratory A, lahat masungit kasi nga minamadali sila gumawa ng results. Okay, mabilis nga ang results nila pero sa laboratory A hindi friendly yung staff. Sa laboratory B naman, magaan ang loob mong pumunta doon kasi friendly yung staff nila. Okay, so yun yung defined boundaries dito. Kung saan sila nakilala. Okay? Number 2, to have purposeful activity or primary task. Okay, so that is the core function of an organization. So primary task, example, in the lab, nagpo-provide tayo ng healthcare. So yan yung primary task natin, to provide healthcare. Okay? For example, sa telcos, like Globe, Smart, PLDT, yung primary task nila is to provide connection. Okay, what else? In technology, okay, yung primary task nila is to provide product development. Okay, so dito, sa laboratory, healthcare naman yung provide. Yan yung primary task nila. Develop into a hierarchy of system. Okay, so this is structured into level of management. So lahat ng level of management, each of them, meron silang sariling specialized tasks. Okay, kung anong specialty nila, syempre yun yung tatrabahuin nila para maayos and efficient ang work lahat from executives down to the front line. Okay, organizations operate as open systems. Okay, open systems should be sensitive to external factors. For example, adaptable sila. Ngayon, trending ngayon yung ganito. So, mag-a-adapt sila para makisabay sila sa trends. Okay, so kailangan open system. Kung ano yung nasa external environment nila, they should be able to adapt for their business or for their organization to be sustainable and should seek a state of stability and equilibrium. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko kanina doon sa procurement of supplies. You have to be able to identify what you need most and what you don't need to prevent overproduction and underproduction. Halimbawa, kanina when I said na ngayon rainy season so mataas yung dengue cases. For in that case, kailangan natin mag-procure ng maraming supplies for dengue tests. Okay, para hindi tayo magkaroon ng underproduction, para hindi makulangan yung supplies. Same din halimbawa, November, okay, maraming nanganganak kasi maraming nabuntis ng Valentine's. Okay? So ano yung mabenta sa November? Siyempre pregnancy pregnancy test packages. For example, yung CBC nyo, yung urinalysis nyo, yung RPR, VDRL, HBsAg, okay, kung ano yung mga pinapa-test 'pag manganganak yung patient, yun yung madami. Okay, kaya seeks a state of stability and equilibrium. Kung ano yung patok that season, yun yung ipa-prioritize nila para hindi magkaroon ng underproduction. Okay? And self-regulating, ibig sabihin, to assess their performance and make adjustments to processes, strategies, or behaviors para ma-maintain nila yung desired outcomes nila. Okay, so hindi ko na alam kung paano to i-expound, very self-explanatory naman. Okay, so those are the characteristics of an organization. Okay. So we also have here organizational forces influencing the manager's job. Okay. So number one, we have the external environment of the organization. Okay. So syempre apektado kung paano magtatrabaho yung managers. Okay. So external environment as well as internal culture of the organization. So for external environment, syempre general economic condition. Paano yan magfa-function kung the economy is not so good? Halimbawa, inflation, unemployment rates. Okay? So it affects how managers do their job. Laws and regulations. Syempre, you have to comply with local, national, and international laws. Okay? So halimbawa, may gusto kong gawin pero hindi pwede sa area mo. So you have to take that into consideration as well. National and local customs, okay? So cultural norms, societal values. So for example, may mga patient tayo na gusto nila na yung mag-e-extract sa kanila is babae lang kung babae sila. Okay? Lalaki lang kung lalaki sila. Okay? That has something to do with their cultural norms. Okay? Female staff to female patients only. What else? Ayaw nila ng kung babae sila, ayaw nila ng lalaki na kukuha sa kanila. Okay, so that should be taken into consideration as well. And of course, transportation routes. So for your logistics aspect. Okay, so and also the internal culture of the organization, meron tayong history. Okay, so kung ano yung past ng organization, okay, so it will shape the future for the said organization. Okay, lifestyle, the work environment, including work-life balance, okay, employee well-being, and general work practices. Okay, so that also affects kung paano mag-work ang isang manager. And images, ito yung reputation mismo or yung branding ng organization. Okay? This can affect both internal and external. Pero dito natin siya ilagay sa internal culture. Okay? Maintain mo kung maganda yung image. Improve it kung mas okay. Rebrand kung hindi okay yung image ng inyong organization. Okay? So yan po ang ibig sabihin ng sa images under the internal culture. Yung reputation or yung branding mismo ng organization. For the organizational structure, okay, so this is a process where a group is formed including the lines of communication, channeling of authority, span of control and making decisions. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, kailangan po na in a group, meron tayong lines of communication depende nga sa hierarchy. So, hindi po pwede na ikaw, halimbawa medical student ka, medical intern ka, may problem ka sa patient, okay? Pinarayan ka ng patient, inaway ka ng bantay ng patient, hindi po puwedeng magre-report ka diretso sa medical director, hindi po puwedeng magre-report ka diretso sa may-ari ng ospital. So, may sinusunod tayong hierarchy diyan. Okay, so hindi po puwede na may problema ka sa department na 'to, may problema ka sa department ng radiology, magrereklamo ka sa department ng dermatology kung example. Okay, so you have to take that into consideration. So kailangang merong lines of communication that will channel authority. Okay, span of control. Okay, so this is the management scope if within the organization or outside. Okay, and decision making. So that is concerning the authority distribution. Okay, so ito yung organizational structure. Kumbaga parang may hierarchy nga, kanina ko pa sinasabi, okay? So, I cannot expound that enough, very self-explanatory. Next, okay, so we have different types of organizational structure. Okay, so we have flat, pyramid, bureaucratic, or line or hierarchical, and shared governance. So, isa-isahin po natin siya. So, pag sinabing flat, okay, decentralized structure, span of control and authority is widened, and there is participation in the lower level of management. So when we say flat, decentralized, ibig sabihin decision making is distributed even among various levels. So hindi po pwede dito na yung magde-decide lang is kung sino yung nasa taas. Sino lang yung nasa gitna and sino yung nasa ilalim. So lahat ng lahat ng decision making, dinidistribute siya all throughout your staff. Mapa-manager man yan or yung nasa baba, lahat sila taken into consideration. Yan po yung flat na organization. Okay? For pyramid naman, centralized naman siya. Kumpara sa flat, this one is centralized and managers have full control of members. So, kabaliktaran ng flat. Kung dito sa flat, kino-consider yung opinions and decision ng nasa ilalim, dito sa pyramid, the managers have full control of members. So, yan lang po ibig sabihin nun. For bureaucratic or line or hierarchical, okay, so this is said to be the oldest and simplest form. It is rule-centered. Ibig sabihin, operations and interactions are governed by strict rules and regulation. Okay, so meron silang sinusunod na standard para consistent lagi yung work nila. Okay, so yan po ibig sabihin ng rule-centered structure. This is also associated with chain of command. Okay, so there is a clear chain of command where each level of the hierarchy reports to the one above it. Okay, so yung authority, it flows downward. So halimbawa, immediate superior mo sino ba? Anong example natin dito? For example, yung owner ng company, sasabihan niya si stockholders. Si stockholders mag-i-implement, sabihan niya si manager. Si manager yung magsasabi sa employees. So, it's from top down. Okay? So, yun. Downward communication. Galing sa taas, okay, yung instruction papunta sa baba. Okay? So, they are rule-centered para standardized yung procedures nila and meron tayong consistency in their results. And for shared governance, so this is a combination of pyramid and flat. Okay, so this is a hybrid structure combining elements of flat and pyramid. Okay, promoting collaborative na decision making throughout shared authority between different levels of staff. Okay, so yan yung types of organizational structure. Characteristics of organizational structure, we have division of labor. Okay, so this is where the delegation of work is given. Depende kung sino ang nakakaalam sa area na 'to, siyempre siya yung magtatrabaho. Hindi naman po puwede na si doctor is yung magde-design ng plano ng building, tapos si engineer yung gagawa ng, medical decision. So, baliktad. Okay, so specialized po yung tasks na dine-delegate dito. Kung anong alam ni person A, yun yung gagawin niya. Kung anong alam ni person B, yun yung gagawin niya. So, yun yung ibig sabihin dito sa division of labor. Chain of command, okay, again, kung kanino ka magre-report, nasabi na yan kanina. Kung si boss mo is si chief medtech, siyempre sa kanya ka magre-report. Eh, hindi ka puwedeng mag-report dun kay foreman, hindi ka puwedeng mag-report dun kay engineer, kasi yung boss mo si chief medtech, okay? Span of control, okay, so this indicates the number of subordinates a manager directly supervises, sorry ang grammar, okay? So kung ilan yung sakop ni manager, yan yung span of control. Level of management position, okay, so we have here yung hindi naman, yung sa discussion natin last week, we have top management, middle management, lower level management, and so on and so forth. And organizational relationship, there is formal and there is informal. When we say formal, it is okay, direct. This is structured, okay, uninterrupted dapat. So for example, from supervisor to subordinate, from department to department, okay, so sila-sila mismo nag-uusap. Okay? What else? From project planner to team members. So yan, may direct relationship. Si informal naman, okay, so that is the dotted line daw. Pero ibigay na ako ng example. So peer-to-peer, okay, barkada sa barkada. Who else? Mentorship, yung teacher mo and yung student mo. Okay, cross-departmental collaboration. Anong collaboration? Anong pinagsasabi ko? Sorry, collaboration, cross-departmental collaboration. Halimbawa, si, yung, paano ba? Yung laboratory department, may irereklamo silang staff. So, dun sila pupunta sa HR department. Okay, so hindi sila directly connected, but they can still interact because nga merong organizational relationship. Okay, so yan po yung informal. Cross-departmental, for example, again, laboratory department magrereklamo sa HR, labo department magrereklamo sa payroll department, and so on and so forth. So yan yung characteristics of an organizational structure. We also have different forms of organization. We have formal bureaucracy, informal groups. Okay, formal bureaucracy or yung ating formal groups. Okay, so lines of authority assigned by the owners of the organization. Okay, so they are clearly defined by the owners or top management. So sila mismo yung nag-decide kung sino yung nasa linya ng authority. The members of this group know who they work with. So kilala nila kung sino yung mga katrabaho nila. Okay? The members of this group know whom they supervise. So alam nila kung sino yung mga sakop nila rin. Okay? And how their department relates to other groups and even those who supervise their boss. So yan sa ating formal bureaucracy. For informal groups, we have here an alliance that form outside the boundaries of the formal bureaucracy from the interaction and allegiance of people with common interest. So here, okay, these are spontaneous alliances that form outside the formal organizational structure. Okay, so for example, social clubs, okay, within the workplace. Employees that are running, halimbawa yung mga nagba-Bible study, yung mga mayroong support group. So yan, it's considered as an informal group. So an alliance that form from outside the boundaries of the formal bureaucracy. So yan yung parang namuo na lang friendship or na alliance nga. Okay? So may yung mga naging kaibigan mo sa work, yan, that's an informal group. That's a friendship circle within the organization. Yung mga naging magkaibigan. And yung mga may common interests. So yan po under ng informal groups. Structural design of an organization, we have design element and we have design strategies. So dito muna tayo sa design element and factors. So here, okay, we are gonna talk about the task to be performed, kung anong gagawin. This should include the type of equipment, the level of automation, kung high-tech ba or kung traditional, nature of product or service to be produced. Okay, so you can siya expound. People involved, so the number of people needed and their availability to perform the work are very important in an organization. So here, motivation also plays a very important factor. Okay, so dito sa people involved, this focuses on the workforce, kung anong kailangan gawin, including the number of employees, and kung gaano sila ka-skilled and their availability. The effective organizational design must take into consideration how to attract, retain, and motivate employees to perform optimally. So kailangan makapag-attract ka ng workers, ma-maintain mo sila, hindi yung mataas yung resignation rate sa inyo, and paano mo sila mamo-motivate para hindi naman na parang routine lang yung ginagawa nila, na parang burden yung work nila every time. For workplace, this is the physical environment itself. This includes the total space available, amount of storage room, the visibility and accessibility of workers, supervisors, and proximity of test areas. Okay, so this involves the physical environment itself. Kasali yung layout, yung space, kung gaano ka-visible yung workers, gaano sila ka-accessible, and kung gaano kalapit yung mga test areas from each other. Because that can also play a factor in an organization. So lahat yan under structural design, yung design element. Next po, we have design strategies and models. We have here, ilan ba to? Dalawa. Okay, so una, bureaucratic models. So all decisions must be checked with headquarters before action can be taken. So kailangan i-check muna siya ng nasa taas. Okay, so kailangan muna siya i-approve bago siya aksyonan. Okay, yan po ibig sabihin ng bureaucratic model. So important features, we have modern job description. So repetitive tasks. We have modern job description. So each job has formally established set of official duties. Okay, so job description, kung anong work mo talaga, kung anong trabaho mo. Hierarchy, again, based on chain of command. Rules and regulation are consistently applied para nga standardized yung procedures natin. And hiring and firing are based on the qualification and performance of your employees. Okay? So lahat ng to, it should be checked by the headquarters before giving action. Okay? So yan po ang important features ng ating bureaucratic models. Next, we have situational models. Okay, so this is the specific job's needs. So these models should adapt to specific job needs with strategies that are tailored to the nature of work. So kung ano yung nature of work, dapat tailored siya doon sa situation. Okay, so this is suitable for So yung routine strategy, yan po is suitable for repetitive tasks and need minimally trained workforce. Kasi nga paulit-ulit, routine na siya. So parang as you repeat the process every day, parang nagiging training na siya. So hindi na siya kailangang super trained yung workforce. Engineering strategy, non-repetitive work performed by a professionally prepared staff. Okay, so non-repetitive tasks performed by highly trained professionals requiring specialized skills. So, yung hindi siya hindi siya kagaya ng routine na paulit-ulit. So, ito yung non-repetitive work, kailangan na yung staff na gagawa nito, since nga hindi routine, hindi common yung test, kailangan professionally trained yung staff natin. For example, HIV proficiency. hindi naman routine yung HIV proficiency natin. Hindi siya kagaya ng serology na pwede mong gawin kasi paulit-ulit lang. Hindi hindi mo puwedeng gawin yung HIV proficiency kung regular medtech ka lang kasi nga this is a special work na kailangan ng extra knowledge, extra, theoretical knowledge para makapag-run tayo ng test. Okay, so that is an example for engineering strategy. Craft strategy naman, it's applied to produce best unique products whereby workers are extremely skilled. So ito na yung parang, pinaka, maayos na hindi naman maayos, pinakamagaling, okey, pinakamagaling na workers para yung product or yung service na mabibigay is considered to be the best, okay? And discover strategy, this is for work that requires investigation such as structural development. Okay, so this, yung sa discover strategy, this is employed in roles that may involve investigation, what else? Innovation or development, often requiring significant expertise and creativity. Okay, so for example, research. Okay, this work requires investigation. Nag-investigate ka, you're trying to prove something. You're trying to investigate why this thing works this way, kung bakit yung concentration na ito dun namamatay yung organism na 'to, okay, so and so on and so forth. So yan yung discover strategy, sorry. Okay? So example niyan is research. Okay, so that is for situational models. Now let's talk about our organizational chart. Okay, malapit na tayong matapos, okay? So organizational chart, this is the formal written presentation of the structural plan of the organization. Okay, so this is a visual representation of an organization structure, detailing the hierarchy. Okay, so may nakapwesto sa taas, may nakapwesto sa gitna, may nakapwesto sa ilalim. Okay, so this is, okay, for example, this one here, yung image natin here. For example, laboratory, this is your pathologist. Ito yung ating mga chief medtech, assistant chief medtech kung meron man. Meron tayong section heads and meron tayong regular medtechs. Okay, meron din pwede dito maglagay ng lab aides, lab techs, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is arranged in a way na makikita mo kung sino yung nasa taas. For example, dito si pathologist, si chief medtech. Okay? Second highest siya. Yung mga section head, okay, section head ng HEMA, section head ng bacteriology, section head ng chemistry, section head ng blood bank, and ano pang hindi ko nabanggit, chemistry. So lahat ng section sa lab, may section head sila. And they all report to our chief medtechs here. And ayun, and kung sino pang nasa ilalim, okay, they will be arranged as such. Okay, so principles of organizational structure and authority, we have departmentalization. So this is where you divide the organization into different departments. For example, hematology, histopathology, what else? Chemistry, serology, okay? So isipin nyo na lang yung mga section natin sa laboratory. Yan yung departmentalization. Because each of these sections are responsible for specific functions. Okay, so I hope gets nyo na yan. Decentralization is the distribution of decision-making authority to lower levels in the organization. Para naman may say yung mga nasa ilalim. Hindi naman po na yung mga nasa taas lang yung may say. Dapat may say din yung sa ilalim. Kaya decentralization. Unity of command, okay? So you should only report to one supervisor. So dito, okay, si section head ng siguro si HEMA, si section head ng HEMA magre-report lang siya dito sa dalawang chief medtech. Kasi sila nga yung immediate superior. Hindi naman pwede magre-report sila dito, diretso din sila mag-report dito kay pathologist. Hindi po pwede yun, magugulo. Okay? Hindi rin po pwede na si HEMA magre-report dito kay chemistry. Hindi po pwedeng si HEMA magre-report dito kay bacteriology. Okay? So dito siya mag-report sa immediate superior nila para walang magkagulo. Okay? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng unity of command. Scalar principle. Okay? So this is a clear line of authority from the top to the bottom of the organization, creating a chain of command where each level is connected. So, yun po, galing sa taas, papunta sa baba, from top to bottom. Okay, so scalar principle. Clear line of authority galing sa taas hanggang sa baba. For example, si pathologist, si chief medtech, si medtech section head, and then si medtech staff. Okay, from top down. Okay, yan yung scalar principle. And then exceptions principle, okay, here, this suggests that routine decisions should be handled by lower level managers, where only significant or exceptional issues should be escalated to higher levels, allowing senior managers to focus on strategic matters. So, for example, dito, okay, dito naman tayo kaila, sino to ulit? Sila section head. Okay. Yung mga problema nila within themselves, ayusin na lang muna nila bago sila dumiretso sa taas. Kasi nga po, okay, may mga problema naman, internal conflicts na pwedeng i-resolve within their own section heads. Section departments, sorry, may tumatawag. Okay, so i-resolve muna nila within themselves before they escalate doon sa taas. Kasi, for we know, these people can be working with other things para may ano sila, may time sila to work with their own concerns. Kaya kayo here, sila section head, it's better to work within yourselves. Ayusin niyo muna, okay? Decisions should be handled within yourselves. Within themselves, sorry. Okay? Only significant or exceptional issues should be escalated to higher levels. Kaya exceptions principle. Halimbawa, kung hindi mo na kaya ayusin yung situation dito sa department mo, doon ka na aakyat. Okay? So, exceptional issues should only be escalated to higher levels kung hindi mo na kaya. Para yung senior managers mo, focus sila sa kanilang mga strategic work. Okay? So, yan po ang ibig sabihin ng exceptions principle. We also have here concepts of authority. Okay? So, concepts of authority, this is the empowerment by formal job classification of an individual to make commitments and act on behalf of the organization. So, what does this mean? Ang ibig po sabihin nito, authority is given to individuals based on their job classification. So, hahayaan kayong mag-work within yourselves kasi the organization believes kung ano naman yung believes in what you're doing in behalf of them. Halimbawa, kaming mga CI, minsan pinapayagan na kaming makipag-communicate sa mga training officers ng hospital kasi alam naman na ng authority namin, si Sir Jeff, yung coordinator, kung ano yung makakabuti para sa aming para sa internship. In behalf of the organization, ma'am, ako po, si Fee Madrazo, makipag-usap ako sa inyo to endorse interns. Makipag-usap ako sa inyo to talk about our memorandum of agreement. So through me, the authority, si Sir Jeff, ginagamit niya ako para makipag-communicate doon sa hospital in behalf of the organization, yung ating school. Okay? To decide how resources, rewards, and penalties are used. Okay, so binibigyan na rin nila kami ng authority sa ganyan. Okay, this includes the power to decide kung paano i-allocate yung resources, to administer reward and enforce penalties. For example, okay, to decide how resources are delegated. Yung mga interns natin, these are considered as human resources. Okay, kung sino yung ipapadala namin sa ospital na to, okay, so kami yung nagde-decide based on your grades. Based on your grade, ano yung meaning ng GWA? General weighted average. Okay? So, dito, hinahayaan nila kaming mag-decide kung saan kayo ilalagay based on your grades. Rewards. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin nito? Halimbawa itong si medtech intern, mabait siya, very organized, gumagaan yung trabaho ng mga medtech staff sa kanya, so binibigyan siya ng merit. Kung mali naman, demerit, okay, penalties. Okay? To ensure that designated goals and responsibilities are achieved. Okay, so it ensures that these individuals or teams meet their designated goals and fulfill their responsibilities. Okay? So yung goal natin for internship is to provide training sa ating students. Kaya yun yung goal. At the end, okay, pag matapos yung 6 months na internship, meron silang certificate of internship. But aside from that, yung mga knowledge nila na nakuha sa hospital, na-achieve nila. Kasi pwede na nilang i-apply yan sa kanilang practical learning. Okay, so to ensure that designated goals and responsibilities are achieved. We have here the power of act. Okay? Authority and responsibility, okay, should go hand in hand. Ibig sabihin, dapat authority and responsibility, hindi siya dapat kumbaga ina-abuse. If you are an authority and may ipapagawa ka sa mga constituents mo, you should also be responsible kung ano yung nararapat. Kasi hindi pwede na pa-impose ka lang ng pa-impose ng gagawin, pero hindi naman, hindi ka nag-i-impose responsibly. Pagawa ka lang ng pagawa, wala namang kwenta yung mga pinapagawa mo. Okay? So you should take responsibility as well. Kung bakit mo 'to pinapagawa, kasi may goal kang tina-target. Okay, so yan po yung thought kung bakit kaya yung authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. To ensure harmonious flow of organizational energy toward completion of its task and mission. So lahat ng pinapagawa ng ating nakakataas, yung authority, lahat yan may mission, kumbaga may goal. Okay, so hindi ka pwedeng pagawa ka lang ng pagawa kasi gusto mo lang. So dapat you should be responsible enough na mag-delegate ng work kasi meron kang tina-target na mission. Okay? So yan po ang ibig sabihin ng power of act. In-explain ko lang. And then we have We have types and roles of authority. So we have line authority, staff authority, and functional authority. Okay, so line authority taking the straight line route or the direct. Okay, so anong ibig sabihin niyan? Okay, so direct authority over subordinates where commands and directives flow in a straightforward chain of command. So kagaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, kung saang department ka, yun lang yung sakop mo. Yung authority is given from your department to their subordinates. Okay? For staff authority naman, okay, indirect authority that provides support, advice, and recommendations. So for example, HR manager, nag-a-advise sa department ng laboratory kung anong gagawin sa mga complaints nila. Okay? So si HR, nag-a-advise sila sa mga department heads for recruitment but not directly supervising employees. So halimbawa sila HR, okay, yung kinakausap nila is sila Ma'am Shay para i-hire kami. Hindi kami babantayan ng HR kasi yung trabaho ng HR is to coordinate us with Ma'am Shay. Sila Ma'am Shay, sila yung magbabantay sa amin, kaming mga faculty. Okay? Hinire lang kami ng HR pero yung directly talaga na maghahawak sa amin is sila Ma'am Shay, sila Dean, sila Sir Jeff. Okay? So yan po yun. Hindi siya direct, kumbaga. And then functional authority, okay, exercise control within the boundaries of professional specialty. So control exercised within a specific area of expertise or professional specialty, often crossing departmental lines. Okay, so for example, a quality control expert who has the authority to enforce standards across various production departments. Halimbawa si engineer, okay. Si engineer, siya yung may alam kung paano aayusin yung nasirang machine, okay. Hindi yan kayang gawin ni medtech kasi may mga knowledge and principles na hindi naiintindihan ng medtech kasi nga yung focus natin is within the physiology, the test principle, pero yung technology talaga ng, machine na yan, kung paano siya nagwo-work, kung paano siya nagfo-function, that is within the control and the specialization of the engineer who manufactured it. So, the engineer will exercise control within the boundaries of professional specialty. So, alam nila kung anong gagawin pagka nagkaroon ng machine breakdown. Siyempre hindi naman natin alam 'yun. So, kaya sila tinatawag para ayusin, yung mga problems in case na magkaroon, okey? So, line authority, staff authority, and functional authority. Isa yan po yung types and roles of authority. So medyo wordy lang yung ating lab management, but I think it's not very hard to understand. So konti lang yung slides natin, hanggang slide 15 lang tayo, okay? So here na yung thank you page natin, yung pinaka-aantay ng lahat. Okay, so lahat po tayo, I'm sorry, lahat po ng ating pagdi-discuss dito sa lab management, technically konti lang siya, pero since very wordy nga, kaya tayo tumatagal. Though 2 hours yung time natin, natapos tayo ng 52 minutes, okay? Time natin is 52 minutes, pero that could be shorter kung hindi tayo wordy. Okay, so I hope you can bear with our subject. Medyo boring siya, even ako naboboringan ako dito.